All right. I don't know what just happened, you guys, but we're going to get it together. I promise you that. We're going to get this thing working. It just froze out everybody. Not really sure why. The kickstand out and then it froze me. All right, there's one.
All right, let's see if we can get Dr. O back on here.
It like froze you and then it just kicked me out. I sent him an invite.
All right. It seems like it's easier if I just like send the request, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's not easier for him.
They said they can't hear us. What? Back out and come back in if you can't hear us. That might be the problem. But Instagram's been playing lately, dude.
Yeah, they don't even like this message.
Mm-mm.
What's up, Will? We got to bring you on too, man.
Where's my dude at? Where's Dr.O? Dun, 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 bulldozer.
You can't, I can't request him from the desktop, can I?
You might be able to. I don't see him back in the live stream right now. Come on, Instagram. What are y'all doing tonight?
Let me see here.
Thank you for coming back, Queen Sabrina. We're back too. We're trying to get it together. Where's he at, Dr. O? I don't see him back in here yet.
Yeah, I wish I could request him. I don't know how. We got some questions in here though.
Yeah, they loading us up with questions. That's for sure.
Let's see here.
I don't know why it won't. Uh-oh. You doing the spinny thing again. Sabrina said she gonna jump off and call.
Yeah. I know he's here.
Yeah. He probably don't know what's going on because we backed out the other live and started a new one. But I don't see his name in the.
Yeah, TikTok's cool. TikTok may be easier, but at the same time, like, man, like, you know what? So this is what I learned about Alex Hormozi, right? He had talked about 20%. You need to fire 80% of your potential client base and hire 20%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And TikTok, man, like the kids, they don't understand the investment when it comes to investing into your dogs. That's just the truth. I know people who have millions of followers on TikTok and they don't monetize nothing on there. Like they can't monetize nothing. They can't sell a product on there.
Yeah, it's a different demographic of people on there. Same thing. I mean, just it's the same way between Instagram and Facebook too.
Yeah.
You get different communities of people. Where you at, Dr. O?
How many times have you seen someone with 1 million followers on TikTok? You come over here and it's like 4,000 followers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Instagram will break your heart. You can have 1 million followers on every platform and come to IG and be like 2 likes. I don't know,
man. It ain't rocket scientist, but he's a scientist.
That's the Mal. Hi, the Mally, 925.
I'm going to start adding people, those who ask a question into the extra spinner wheel. So if I like your question, I've added you.
This dude just said, Send him a message. But
We might have to do some test runs before we go live from here on out, man.
yeah, I don't know where he went.
He's probably talking to Sabrina right now.
Don't show him in the invite to join list. Don't see it. Shouts out to everybody that is tuned in, though, man. I see a lot of names being frequently popping up, and we sure appreciate y'all tuning in every week. Dr.O, man, let's see. What's his Dr. Let's see if I can find him. Dr. Boom. Invite. There we go. Bam.
Holy shit.
It's coming in hot.
Oh, he's got his headset on too. Oh, it's gonna be a serious night if he's got his headset on. I ain't gonna lie. All right.
I don't think we can hear him though.
Of course not, right? Doc, can you hear us?
There we go. I hear him now. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
You can't hear me.
All right.
So, where'd he go?
And he's gone.
He's in.
He's like,
And then he's
adios.
out. He's like, you can't hear me? Bye.
You see the shit we go through for y'all?
Yeah. Yeah.
The kid's got some nostril hairs on him, though, huh? He was trying to. He was trying to do it from his computer, and you can't. As far as I know, there he is.
Yeah, you gotta do it from your phone. That's the only bad thing about Instagram.
My phone.
There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Dr.O, what's going on, brother?
Hey, not a whole lot. I'm gonna have to do my phone, so I'm sorry. I got I got a new headset.
Hey, we're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna get you set up on this next one for February. So we'll be sending you some stuff out to get you all set up, and I'll make sure Zach and I hit you up, and we'll walk you through it all.
Talk sometime, because let me show you. See, there you are.
Yep. Yeah, that's the only bad thing about Instagram. It won't let you go live from a laptop.
Okay. Well, this isn't a laptop. It's a
Zach.
computer. But I'm gonna get.
Desktop. Yeah.
All right. Because I was having a delay. Between the two. So, all right, I'm here. We are ready.
All right. So we got a bunch of questions. I know we got some questions in the question box. Plus, we have some questions on the actual post for the giveaways and stuff like that. So I'll let Zach ask the first question. We'll just start feeding you some questions, and hopefully you're up for the challenge, Doc.
Oh, okay. I got my big gulp, and I'm ready to go.
Let's go. All right, Zach, you lead it off, brother.
All right. Let's see. First question of the night was Stephanie Big Mike's Bully says, do you see more of a certain breed or a certain dog sport with needing more adjustments than others?
So, oh, wow. Depends on what part of the country I'm in. And
okay.
And let me, I mean, that sounds evasive, but when I lived in North Dallas, I saw a ton of flyball dogs. And then when I would go to downtown Dallas, I'd see mostly agility dogs. And now that I started going to Austin, and when I was coming over to X-Dog over there in Forney, we saw probably 90% protection dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So depends on where you're at. Any dog, so all Olympic athletes across the board, doesn't matter what sport they are, 95 to 98% of all Olympic athletes have a chiropractor. Isn't your dog as deserving as an Olympic athlete?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, especially at that level of sports.
Yeah. Usain Bolt has his own chiropractor. He gets it. Somebody asked me the other day, how often is too often to get adjusted? Usain Bolt gets adjusted before and after every race.
If it was up to me, I would get adjusted every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could afford it, you know.
Well, he takes his own chiropractor with him, and if he runs 3 races in a day, he gets adjusted 6 times.
It gives an athlete such a competitive edge. I remember, like, I had to pull my right hamstring and I had to pull my left hamstring my junior and my senior year. I was a sprinter, right? And I was up in Illinois, and it's cold up there. And I was just, I mean, believe it or not, this little Asian guy was fast as fuck. And what ended up happening is I pulled my hamstring and I got a chiropractor. That's where I started first learning about chiropractic, and he let me know how I was unaligned. And it's kind of like the way he kind of explained it, it's kind of like a car engine, right? And the belt being slightly off.
Yep.
And if it's slightly off, you're up for injury.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I got another. All right. So I'll go ahead and feed the next question.
Thanks, but I'm listening.
All right. Winnie hunts for honey. What is the best way to help a dog diagnosed with hip dysplasia?
That's a good one.
All right, that's a great one. So first off, how was the diagnosis made? All right.
Okay.
And second off is that you guys, that's a good segue. Can I do a little self-plugging right here?
Oh, yeah.
Got the fourth book coming out soon. The idea for the 4th book is going to require all you guys' input, all right? Because it's going to be a veterinary to chiropractic translation dictionary.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about things like hip dysplasia and how can chiropractic help.
Yeah.
So first off, hip dysplasia is purely a radiographic diagnosis. That's all it is. It means it's nothing else, all right? Radiographs have no pain, and radiographs have no movement. Now, if a hip, so the hip joint should look like that, all right?
Okay. Yep.
Anything bigger than that is hip dysplasia. Now, a hip like this obviously isn't going to function very well.
Sure.
A hip like this has some hip dysplasia, but it still functions fairly well. All right? So how is the diagnosis made? There's a lot of lay diagnoses made. Your dog moves like a dog with hip dysplasia.
Yeah.
My dog has hip dysplasia. Or even some veterinarians will say that. You know, there's a good chance your dog might have hip dysplasia. Okay, but there's never been an x-ray made. Now,
Sure.
to tell if your dog has hip dysplasia or not, I'm going to disappear again.
This guy's a fucking ghost.
He'd be in the back cave a lot. He'd be like, pew! He's going to grab some utensils.
I got a dog.
Oh, shit. Came back with a whole dog.
Right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them right on the hip bone.
Okay.
And you're going to push in. Be careful. Have somebody grab your dog's nose if you think your dog might have hip dysplasia.
Yeah.
He has hip dysplasia. You're just barely going to put any pressure on that bone.
Yeah.
He's going to bite.
Really?
Yep.
It's painful?
That painful.
Wow.
If it's
Dang.
the hip dysplasia. I've had dogs come in here with x-rays that look like this.
Okay.
Right? Pretty bad,
A lot of
pretty
space.
floppy.
Spacing between the hip and the...
All kinds of. And I've been like, this. And the dog would be,
Yeah.
his hips don't hurt. But you touch right there in the middle of his back, boom, he sits down. Because his spine can't move correctly because the support for the spine is incorrect. So number one, let's go back to the original question. Number one, what's the best thing we can do for a dog with hip dysplasia? Right. First off, make sure we know what the problem is.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I'll let you finish it. Then I gotta
Number
ask you.
two, make sure their nutrition is better than fantastic.
Sure, because you want to reduce inflammation, correct?
Reduce inflammation, keep muscles moving at optimal levels. So we want it not just good nutrition. If you think your dog has an issue like that, we want better than good nutrition.
And me and Zach talk about this all the time, especially within the community, like the bully breed community. Everybody's looking for like a better kibble, right? But at the end of the day, all kibble leads to inflammation. You have some type of kibble that it may cause less inflammation, but it all leads to inflammation just due to the starches and just, how they say it, spiking the
process. When you cook food, I mean, if we cooked all our food to 360 degrees to allow it to sit on the shelf, let's face it, kibble can sit on the shelf for a year and a half and won't rot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years.
But then we give it to a dog and say, all right, Fluffy, you got 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this then, because this is a common problem in the bully community as well. And this could probably be a common problem in other communities, but I know we have a lot of bully listeners on here. How do you identify the difference between hip dysplasia and stiff stifles?
Okay, so there again, it depends on, we go back to the difference. Here again, the dictionary. So you send me these, who's keeping these notes of the questions and
Zach?
all that? You guys send it to me.
Yeah, I got.
No, we got a bunch of them. They'll just keep pouring in, actually.
I know.
Honestly.
This is all part of the book. So we got hip dysplasia, we got stiff stifles, we got all that stuff, right? So what we're going to do, stiff stifles is lack of motion, right?
Okay.
What causes a joint to move? Muscles.
Yeah.
What makes a muscle fire? Nerves.
Okay.
All right. If I take and put my hand in a cast and totally immobilize it for 7 days, and I take and put the weight of a dime on the nerve to my hand on my other side, in 7 days, the hand with the weight on the nerve will show atrophy, will show lack of use. It will take 7 weeks for this cast to get the same amount. So when you see a dog that's not limping, but has uneven back legs or uneven front legs or uneven muscular side to side, is there any way it's non-use?
And that's one of the things that, when we talk about how the X-Dog vest can add longevity to a dog's joint health, right? Like, it's because, like, investment into conditioned muscles or muscles is almost kind of like a paid investment to longevity, both in lifespan and into joint health, right?
Correct.
Like and people don't quite understand all the benefits of it, but that's how I explain it to people. It's like, in order to reduce pressure on joints, ligaments, and tendons and connective tissues and stuff like that, you have to have higher conditioned muscles. Right. And it's just a very interesting concept, to say the least.
And good muscle function requires good food, good functioning circulation, and good nerve supply.
Yeah. And that's the beauty about, like, let's just say you guys are feeding some type of kibble, because I know, like, not everybody is, like, fully knowledgeable on a complete and balanced raw diet. But if you are feeding any type of kibble, one, hydrate your kibble, and two, you can supplement with great whole food sources like meat, proteins, eggs, just whole food sources.
X-Dog has a good line of those, don't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have great supplements, but I always, everybody who hits me up and they ask about supplements, I always try to solve their problem with shit that's in the refrigerator or in their cabinets, and it's usually some type of whole food source.
I actually had a client that fed free Purina dog food, free, because of her winnings and all that stuff. So her dog food was free. okay? And she had nutrition problems. She always wanted a supplement. And of course, we said feed raw. Oh, I can't afford to feed raw because I'm feeding this free dog food.
Yeah.
We took a picture of her supplement board one day, and I went home and got on the internet, figured out, ordered all the supplements. Just on paper, ordered all the supplements, figured out how long each one would last. It was costing her $6 per day per dog to feed her dogs. And if she'd have switched to some of the highest, most expensive dog food out there, raw dog food, it would have cost her about $5.
Yeah, I think there's a big misconception on pricing because of what people believe they have to feed and how much of the kibble, right? Like,
yeah.
I literally feed my dogs once a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And it's about $7 to feed 3 dogs. And I'm talking like supplements, complete and balanced raw, everything. And it's working for me for sure.
Yeah. And like the average dog. So, yeah. So hip dysplasia and stiff stifles was the question. What's the difference?
So we can
Okay.
get your book and definitely read about that for sure, right?
It's not ready. Not out there yet. Some of it's in. It's really a thing. You bet. But where's the pain coming from? And really make sure where the pain's coming from when you're on these dogs. Okay? Because, all right. Roger, raise your arm. Raise one arm up.
Oh, Zach? Yeah, Roger's not here
Fuck you,
tonight.
Rod. Y'all look the same.
Hey, so raise your arm. So in order for your arm to get there, your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist all had to work, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, correct.
Put your arm down. All right. Now make your shoulder only goes halfway. Do the same thing. Lift it up.
Okay.
So lift it up halfway.
All right.
Oh, your elbow's not working right.
No. Correct.
Get up here. See, your elbow's not working. So before your elbow was way up above your head.
Yeah.
Now,
Sure.
see, now your elbow's not working. You see that?
Yeah.
So your elbow, you can't get your elbow without moving your shoulder. You can't get your elbow above your head.
Correct. Hold on 1 second, guys.
But are we gonna call it an elbow problem? No,
Yeah,
it's a shoulder problem. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
we really need to pinpoint exactly where the pain is coming from. That's where because the problem is back and the legs can't work right.
So really, it's a snowball effect. It's cause and effect. It's something else that's creating that issue.
Yep, it all is. And the reason is the nerve that goes to the back legs sits in the front. It sits like right here on our spinal cord.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the bottom of the dog's spinal cord. And all swelling, inflammation, swelling goes down because gravity makes it go down, right? It goes down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if it goes, so you get a swelling up here on the top of the spinal cord, it's going to end up down here on the bottom of the spinal cord. And the first nerve to get affected is the nerve to the back legs.
It's a chain link, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's almost kind of like Christmas lights. If that one light is not connected, it can cause a chain reaction. And that's what I always found out too about chiropractic is that it wasn't really the reason why I pulled my hamstrings wasn't because of my hamstrings. It was because something was unaligned in my spine.
Yeah, trying to compensate.
Compensate, yeah.
It'd be like, it's like when you put the donut, the donut spare tire
Mm-hmm.
in your car, and you try to drive 75, 80 miles an hour down the road.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little wobbly.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot worse.
Let's segue into this.
45.
They want to know how much is it per session to get your dog adjusted on average? Ace the German Malinois.
Depends on what part of the country you're in.
And who's doing it, right?
Well, who's doing it? You can get a layperson to do it pretty cheap, but you should expect to spend around $100 a visit.
Yeah.
We've had some sporting dog things where we just, it's a membership type thing. So we just deduct so much at the first of the month, and you can come see me as many times as you want.
It's interesting too, because like I went down to the Houston World Series of dog shows, right? And there was a chiropractor down there, and it was like $120 for that adjustment, but she adjusted me, you know, and it was one of the things I was like, holy shit, this is probably the best adjustment I ever had, right? But it was interesting. Most animal chiropractic, it's fair to say you just don't adjust dogs. There's cats, there's equine, there's all types of different animals.
We've adjusted almost anything you can think. A kangaroo, a couple giraffes, some camels.
Did you have to get somebody to hold the kangaroo's arms down? Because I know they'll punch you playing with them, bro.
Well, it was a young, smaller one, and we got we did everything from behind.
Yeah.
He's even done amphibians like salamanders and frogs.
Yep.
Oh, that's insane right there. Thigh the Mally 8 says.
Get to the spine of a turtle. The layer shells in a turtle.
Yeah.
So we've done some kind of cool things. We did a taste test with chickens, and 74% of people prefer chiropractically adjusted chicken. So
that's very interesting.
But yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Of questions.
Yeah, Thigh the Mally 8 says, if there isn't a dog chiropractor near me, what stretches can we do with our dogs?
It's totally different. Stretching your dog and getting your dog adjusted are two different things. And they can private message me or whatever if they don't want to come out there. But I guarantee there's an animal chiropractor I have people drive 3 hours to find me and come to. So I guarantee that there's somebody around. It's just you can go to Animal Chiropractic. I can type it in. No, I can't because it's on my phone. Can you type it in for me, Zach?
Mm-hmm.
It's animalchiropracticeducation.com.
If somebody could put that in the comments, go ahead and put that in the comments. It's what is it again, Dr. O?
Animalchiropracticeducation.com.
Okay.
Down in the bottom right-hand corner, it says alumni. All right. And you can go to that and find one of our students, doctors that's trained under us. And then if you can't find somebody there, the next step would be to go to abcadoctors.org, AVCA, American Veterinary Chiropractic Association, doctors.org, O-R-G, all right? And look there. And the reason I say that there's somebody there and you just don't know that they're there, even though we promote animal chiropractic. I mean, I don't have any shirts that don't have animal chiropractic on them. My truck has animal chiropractic on it. We talk animal chiropractic all the time. And before we moved here, I lived in a town called Salina, Texas, North Dallas. And I'd lived there for about 8 years. And I was at the convenience store waiting in line. And the guy in front of me looked at the cashier and said, "There's a truck out there that says Animal Chiropractic on it. Is that even a thing?"
Yeah. And that's the name of your book. Is it a thing?
That's why where the name came from. Yes, it's really a thing, Animal Chiropractic. And they're there. You just have to know where to look.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are busy, and so they don't need to promote, you know?
Yeah.
And we're pretty busy. I don't go anywhere, but we're open Tuesdays 1 to 6. And I tell you what, we stay busy. I got people, my average person last week that was here probably drove 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours to get. So.
Well, we got some other questions here. Let's go into this next question. 360abcc.West Coast. With a ACL injury, what do you recommend for fast recovery and to help?
Is it a partial? Well, there again. Is it a partial tear or a total tear? All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to measure the symmetry between the bad leg and the good leg as soon as it happens. Okay? And I know how we are. Because we have to do different exercises. And this is where we would, if the knee is stable, so you may need to do surgery, you may need to brace it to get the knee stable. You have to do exercises to make sure the legs are even, okay? Got to get the legs even. That may start, you may not even be able to put any weight on it to start with. So sometimes the first thing I'll do is put a piece of duct tape on the foot of the dog, okay? And see how the easy dogs to rehab are the dogs that go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, with the duct tape.
Okay. Yeah.
You put the duct tape on the good leg because they're going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and they have to walk on the bad leg.
So they have to put more activity on the bad leg.
Right. So we start to build it up, okay? But you want to make sure it's stable. So you've got to have healed it. You've got to have braced it for a while and supported it. And this isn't like the day of the injury. But you need to see how much difference legs
All right.
are.
I got a question for you because this has happened before. Let's say you put duct tape on the good leg, right? And the dog goes, oh, yeah, cool story. I'm going to handstand walk, and I'm not going to put any pressure on the bad leg. Then what do you do, Doc?
Well, then so what I would do first is feed elevated. I would front feet on a 4x4, 2x4. Got some German Shepherds that eat 2 foot off the ground with their front feet 2 foot off the ground on a jump block, right? To strengthen their back ends. Now we didn't start at 2 feet, but we started, so now they eat like at 30 to 40 degrees.
Yep.
Twice a day. How much weight are they putting on their back legs while they eat? And how many dogs do you know that are going to let a little bit of, I'm not talking about a lot of pain, but a little bit of pain or inconvenience, a little bit of discomfort mess up mealtime?
Yeah.
Not a lot, yeah.
So they're pretty comfortable sitting with their front legs elevated while they eat.
Yeah, it was just an interesting question because my mom used to have a Chihuahua, and I walk out the door sometimes because she just let him run the neighborhood. And I would look across the street, and this fool is I don't know if he had hip dysplasia or something, but he would literally handstand, just walk down the sidewalk to the next spot where he's going to mark his territory, and just like literally handstand everywhere.
That's crazy.
And so it's just interesting.
And then you just have to the less they use a limb, the harder it is to get it to rehab.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know. All right. Go ahead, Zach. I know you got another question.
I love X-Dog is once we get to where we can start using that limb some and the extra weight won't bother that, we can do stuff like straight walks with a little, instead of even weighting all around, we'll put more weight on the weak towards the weak back leg.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
So
love it.
Now we went to the weight room with specific target exercises for one leg.
Yep. And no, we haven't done the giveaway yet, guys. We're going to start doing that towards the end. We just got a bunch of questions to get through. You guys don't have to ask any more questions in the question box. We're going to close those entries because we have so many questions in the comments of that post and we got to address. And then we got so many questions in here.
If I answer your question and you don't really get the answer you want, it's not specific enough for your dog, because I don't know things about your dog that in order to not allow me to answer that, hey.
Go follow him. Go follow both of his accounts, All Creatures Every Spine and his personal account, which are both tagged in the pinned post. I mean, this is the whole reason why we bring these people on, guys, is because we want you guys to build a network. These are just people that we admire, and we know that they bring value first. And so if you have any questions, feel free to message them.
Yeah, send me an email. Yep. Or message me on Instagram. I don't care.
FG Border Collie says, what certifications and or licenses should we be looking for searching for a canine chiropractor?
Good question.
Good question. In the United States, they need to be a licensed veterinarian and a licensed chiropractor. Every once in a while, you're going to get lucky and find somebody that really likes to go to school, and they have both a DVM and a DC. Okay, that means they went to school 8 years. Wow. I mean, postgraduate for 8 years after undergrad. Otherwise, you want somebody that's certified in animal chiropractic, and currently the only certification agency in the U.S. is the American Veterinary Chiropractic Association. There's one called the International Veterinary Chiropractic Association, but it's hard to make sure that those are current because it's in Germany and they don't, anyway, they're off tight. So the AVCA is probably the best. It's the gold standard as far as right now. And all of our students, we recommend they go take that test. But an AVCA certified doctor knows what they're doing. And I tell people, you know, that people ask me all the time, well, should I come see you or should I go to my regular vet? Well, every AVCA certified chiropractor knows what is chiropractic and what is not chiropractic, and most veterinarians don't know. So if you go to the chiropractor first and it's not chiropractic, they can send you to the vet. So,
all right. _ Melissa Beveridge _ what area did you find is the most commonly adjusted?
The atlas. It's always the atlas.
Okay.
There's a lot of reasons why it's the atlas at the first cervical vertebra. It's an area of transition. So the spine and spinal cord are changing their shape. Okay. Every nerve in the body goes through that. The immune system sits right at the base of the skull. So, of course, the immunity is there. Some of the reptilian reflex centers sit right at the base of the skull. Some of the primitive reflexes, like, you know, let's say the primitive reflexes would be things like eating, drinking, breathing, and going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Those are all.
I was gonna say pooping.
Yeah.
Zach
Considered.
gave me the eyes. I didn't say it.
Yeah, those are all. You know, those primitive reflexes. Because if we don't eat, that it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
So the atlas, any area of transition. So your areas of transition are going to be your atlas, your lower neck, the middle of the back, and the sacrum.
Well,
those are going to be the most common areas.
Before Zach goes into his next question, this segues into one other question. Is there a adjustment if your dog is constipated? It's just
story. Yeah, there could be. Yes. Yes. It could be the atlas. The reason it could be the atlas, which is a long ways from the butt, but the atlas helps balance sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, which is fight and flight. Okay, and so if you're too panicked, you can't poop. All right.
Yeah.
So you may seem constipated. The reason I laughed is because there's a new drug coming out that was marketed initially and tested initially for something else, and one of the side effects for that new drug, this drug that's coming out, one of the side effects was anal leakage.
Oh, anal seepage. Zach, you know what I'm talking about.
Man, I'm glad y'all brought that up. I'm trying to figure out how to fix it, man.
Oh, no, not fix it. So that's the side effect of this drug.
Oh,
it creates it.
Creates it, yeah. And so they were like, man, we're not going to be able to sell this for what we wanted to sell it for. And somebody said, well, isn't that the opposite of constipation?
Yeah.
We market it as a constipation drug.
Interesting. That's how they think, right? Like it's always
a
always a problem solver for everything.
Yeah.
I still don't think.
So what used to be a side effect, so now they're marketing this drug for constipation.
Yeah. That's crazy. A little anal leakage. Just
there's
let
nothing
it all
worse
out.
than anal seepage.
Yeah, just let it all out, Bobby.
Just
Gracie Marie 86 says, "Do you recommend chiropractic for older dogs?"
Yes, you bet. And in fact, one of my clients on one of my podcast episodes, if you look at it at allcreatures.live, is an agility trainer, and we've been together now, working together now for over 20 years. And she said, yeah, she goes, you know, when I met you, Doc, I never had more than 4 to 6 dogs. She goes, I had 1 or 2 dogs in training, 1 or 2 dogs competing, and usually 1 retired dog. So about 5, maybe 6, you know, but always got 1. She goes, I have 12 dogs now. And I said, I can't help it, you're a hoarder. She goes, no, I got 2 dogs in training, 3 dogs competing, okay? And I got all these geriatric dogs that I love dearly that hang around because you keep adjusting them.
Yeah.
Oh, so their lifespan's longer now.
Lot longer.
Son of a bitch.
Average lifespan of her dogs is 17 years. She hasn't lost a dog less than 17 years old since we started working together 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Faithlin.11. Do heat patches for dogs actually work? Heat patches.
I prefer ice.
Why?
Because it's a very good local anti-inflammatory, and it's very specific. So if you take a systemic anti-inflammatory, even a herbal anti-inflammatory, okay, it acts over the whole body. Very, very non-specific. But if you put an ice pack right here, it's going to work right there. So that's why I like ice, because it's very, very specific. I don't use heat hardly ever.
There's a common there's a trend. I mean, not even a common trend, but like right now, like it's a big deal for ice baths. You know, like people are doing ice baths and stuff right now, and so you know, it's just interesting.
Ice, because one of the problems with the ice bath for dogs is that hair is a good insulation.
Yeah.
And so when you dunk them in the ice bath, you're going to have to keep them in there to get them cooler.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's got to get through the hair. But then when you take them out, they're not going to be able to warm up as fast either.
Yeah.
Because of the hair. So.
And fellas, if you guys are doing an ice bath, you might go in with an Earl Campbell and you might come out with a popcorn shrimp. So just make sure you have a towel. All right. Let me see.
Great for people. And then, so I ice bath in the morning and go to my infrared sauna at night.
That's dope. Yeah, I definitely want to invest into an ice bath and an infrared sauna. I've seen them. So you got the next question, Zach? Or you want me? I got one right now.
I got one ready. Real Love Bully says, can you fix cowhawks?
Ooh.
With given time. How old's the dog first?
Mm-hmm.
I tell people to count on at least a half a day of healing for every day the animal's been sick. So if I've got a dog that congenitally, so was born and had cowhawks from originally, okay, and now he's 8 years old, it's going to take at least 4 years before we have totally corrected those, right? Till we balance the muscles out. What cowhawks are is a problem with weak
ownership.
Weak muscles that take the legs out.
Yeah.
Because the dog legs should stand straight. The muscles should be balanced.
Correct.
If they go this way, well, this muscle here that's supposed to pull it towards the body is weaker than the one that pulls out. So if balance, the legs will be straight. If they're imbalanced is when we start getting, all right? And a lot of times we'll adjust the pelvis of those dogs, straighten the pelvis out. It rotates the femurs, which rotates the hocks. So
what about Easty Westy?
What about pasterns?
When you fix the top of the leg, everything follows on down.
Yeah.
So usually, do you think it? Well, not do you think? Is it shoulder placement that creates the easty-westy effect? Like when they're kicking them fronts out like this instead of being straight forward, it's kicking. Is it starting from the shoulder?
It's weak chest.
Oh.
Or no, yeah, it's a weak outside because it comes in,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they come in because these muscles pull in, and there's not an equal. If you look at the dog bones and you turn the top bone, everything down the thing goes. And when you turn the bottom bone, everything all the way up has to go. But usually it starts. That's one of the major differences between traditional veterinary diagnosis and chiropractic diagnosis is that all lameness starts in the foot or all lameness starts in the brain.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about it like that. It's kind of like it's just like a person with almost like bad posture in a way,
That's what it is.
Muscle memory.
Yeah,
Well,
boxers and stuff,
Yeah.
Like we always are like here, like, I'm always like in the training room trying to pull myself back, and all the training's pulling myself back to just get my posture back.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to bet on this guy to run the marathon? This guy. Which one of us is going to win the marathon?
Well, all I know is that a lot of the Ethiopians and long distance runners, they all have great posture.
Yep.
They're always standing straight up.
And straight up. And because that's the way the bony column is meant to interact with gravity. Extensor muscles are supposed to interact with gravity. Flexors help the movement, but extensors allow us to interact with gravity. And so you should be, your bones should be straight. The most efficient way for any animal is stand with legs perpendicular to the ground. So your dog should have pretty much a square table. And so if the table is, think about your dining table when you start having bent legs on the dining table, or
that one that's a little shorter than the other and it's kind of rocking, you got to constantly stick that piece of paper underneath it so it balances it out because it pisses you off.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not functional, is it?
No.
Same way with these. So they compensate, and then you got issues. So.
Okay, well, so we're going to get into the questions over here in the actual post. So, Aries, God of Bullies, what are crucial components to have in raw feeding, in your opinion, looking to ensure meals are nutritionally balanced?
In my opinion, I am not smart enough to balance a dog's ration.
Okay.
So I'm going to always do a commercially available raw food. I only buy a commercially available raw food. Complete balance.
What's the company you use? It's Barf, right?
Use Barf, barfworld.com.
Barfworld.com, guys.
There's other, and freeze-dried, there's all kinds of products out there that are good, but barfworld.com is delivered right to your door.
Yeah, and reach out to Dr.O because he could probably hook you up with some type of discount as well because he works directly with Barfworld.
Can I give that on here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Coupon code is 1557. Get you 20% off your first order.
There you go. Say that again. 1557.
1557.
Barfworld.com.
Order at barfworld.com.
And here's the thing, not to interrupt you, Doctor. If you guys are feeding kibble and you want to supplement like a complete and balanced raw, you can also supplement it. If you look at their pricing, it's not up to your par, but you can just take some, like order some to start supplementing into your kibble. You'll be good to go there too.
Right. So anyway, the reason I say I'm not smart enough is there's 38 different things that influence calcium absorption from your dog's food. 38 different things that you need to check, as well as,
And every dog is different, correct?
Yeah.
Like,
and so I'm not smart enough for that. But
Yeah, that's a
they,
lot.
they balance every load. So they're making, cement truckloads full of dog food. They're mixing it up. It's 80-20. It's 80-10-10, sorry. 80% muscle meat, 10% organ and bone, and 10% fruits and vegetables. So you got to have organ meat. Dogs need organ meat, period.
Yeah.
There's no ifs or buts about it. They got to have organ meat, and they need to have some fruits and vegetables.
So Puma, the reactive dog, asks, why do most vets tell us to use Kibble? Because most vets are owned or ran or have a partnership by one of the big box companies.
Yeah.
And so it's mandatory for them to push their products. You got to look at most veterinarian clinics are distribution centers for those dog foods.
Yeah, you know what made me catch on to the whole situation? So every once in a while, you'll see these papers that float around on Facebook, or somebody that put it out, be like, my veterinarian sent me this, and it's a long list of dog kibbles that aren't good for the dogs. And then there's always 3 brands that are on the good side. And every
Science
single
Diet,
time, Purina, and I don't even remember the third one, but every single time would be the same 3 brands were always good. And I was like, there's got to be something up with this shit. And that's when I looked into 95% it, and I realized,
of them.
Oh, they're all owned by the big companies. So of course they're going to tell us that's the ones we need to use.
Yes.
Yep.
You know?
And you have to understand too, veterinarians only need 2 years of nutrition. If you want real nutritional advice, find yourself a good PhD nutritionist, because PhD nutrition has a minimum of 10 years, and they're the ones who teach veterinarians about nutrition.
Yeah, that's why when you go into most veterinarian offices, that's the food that you see, because they're getting paid to promote that shit.
I ain't feeding my dog Science Diet, man. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Purina is like almost $100 a bag right now.
And raw food's not cheap, but it's more economical to feed than any kibble.
And you're going to actually probably visit the vet less, because you're not going to have all the health related issues. Here's the thing, man. Like, I see dogs, like a lot of dogs are really lethargic and lazy, and people think that their dog's chill. But the reality is that their dog is really suffering from inflammation, and they're lethargic as shit. And, if you look at a pup, right, and there's no pup, like, mothers have to literally get space from their litter because their pups are so driven and high energy to eat. And all of a sudden, as they get older, because they're on this processed diet, they all of a sudden get lethargic. It's because the cellular nutrition is poor, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Well, if you're uneducated with raw, again, just go with what Dr. O said, Barf World. There's other companies out there. You just find yourself that's already, complete balanced raw.
Yeah.
Or just take some of your kibble and supplement it with whole food sources.
Yeah. And we do start, we'll start out with just feeding raw chicken wings to somebody, but don't just feed, I'm going to go switch to raw I'm just going to start cooking chicken breast.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not raw food. It's not balanced. Because when we feed chicken, we feed bone-in chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dogs can digest raw bone. They cannot digest cooked bone. Never feed your dog cooked chicken bones. Okay? But raw chicken bones are 100% digestible.
Yeah.
What do you recommend for people that have dogs that might have a chicken allergy? What's the next best thing besides chicken?
Antelope. And zebra. Water buffalo.
Test.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and there are a few people that have done their own testing, and they've done diet, elimination, and then they'll put back chicken, and then the dog has a problem, and then they take the chicken away, and then the dog doesn't have a problem. Okay. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
All right. The paper test that shows your dog is allergic to, all these dog foods was done by who? The veterinarian.
Yeah.
And it was designed by the industry that wants to sell
Kibble.
unique kibble.
Whoa, here's just to bring that up. Sabrina had sent me an article that the FDA, which they haven't made a big announcement on, but the FDA had. I'll post a link. I'll actually do a reel on this tomorrow. The FDA says that there is no scientific evidence that a grain-free diet is actually causes linked to DCM. Which you remember, all the big box companies were like, "Hey, if you feed your dog a grain-free diet, you're gonna put him at a higher risk of DCM." Well, that's not true based on what the FDA has reported.
Yep. You're correct.
And yeah, the reason why they did that, guys, is because you have to understand these kibble companies at that highest level, they're literally competing for 20 to 30 cents a bag. They're literally, like, they're moving the truckload. So they're trying to make 20, 30 cents a bag. So it doesn't seem like a lot to you guys, but from a person who's actually made a very niche kibble I literally found a fucking niche market area where it was the highest quality, highest calorie per cup that started with meat as the first ingredient, no corn, no soy, no wheat, no peas, no potatoes. I understand it because I talked to the nutritionist who do, like, the person who actually formulated it does like 90% of the recipes for kibbles out there on the big box market right now. The only reason I can't say that individual's name is because they are in contract.
Right.
Don't be scared all your life. But Melissa Everidge says,
I can't be scared. I ain't trying to get sued.
She says, I've seen a lot of dogs that are allergic to processed chicken not be allergic to straight raw chicken.
Or organic.
My biggest is we see a lot of dogs that come in allergic to beef, and we feed beef, and they're not allergic to raw beef.
Yeah.
So most food allergies, and I can't tell you how many dogs have come in allergic to everything. They've been on, all kinds of drugs, all kinds of everything. They get a couple adjustments. They get switched to raw food, and within 60 days, they're good.
Mm. All right. So Pals. My Dalmatian that I adopted has a chronic hind end injury, dislocated hip, and 2 malunions.
Yep.
He is in rehab, and this rehab technician recommended this product. What's the best way to start him on the vest? This would be a good question for you because this is too deep for me. How do you know he is ready to add weight in it? What increments are appropriate? So that's interesting. This is like, I wouldn't be able to honestly give you an honest answer to that, but Dr. O could.
Yeah. So I'm going to, here again, this is a specific thing. So we're going to need to do he's going to follow up, here. Follow up, send me, because I probably need to look at the x-rays. I need to, most rehab doesn't include neurology. They're trying to rehab muscles that have no nerve flow to them. We talked earlier, what are the 3 things you got to have? You got to have exercise, food, blood supply, and nerve flow. And if you don't have, ain't nothing going to happen.
So Pals, message Dr. O correctly, because again, here's one thing I will never do. I will never give you sound advice that I don't have education on, and that is very new to me. So, but I have the resources. So there's your freaking resource right there.
We need to look at those x-rays. We need to do some stuff, and then we can definitely talk about when we can get it vest. Now, wearing the vest with no weight, I'd start that as soon as possible.
Just get him acclimated. There we go. All right, Zach. And we're going to start doing the giveaway real quick, too. So I'll let Zach give away a question, and then I'll do a giveaway. You ask the next couple questions, Zach.
All right. Let's see. We asked that one already. We asked that one. Here's a good one. Can your dog – I think we kind of touched on this, but 6945 Justin says, can your dog's diet affect their bones and joints?
Oh,
very much so.
We know that 94% of dogs on kibble dog food are hypocalcemic.
Hold on, go back. 94%?
Yeah, 94%. There was a study. It was printed, peer-reviewed journal. In fact, Dr. Amy, my wife, is the one that did some of the peer review on the article. So she read the article before it was even published. But 90% of dogs on kibble have low calcium in their hair. Okay.
Wow.
Which is the last place the body puts calcium when it has enough. Okay, but so calcium, we think about calcium, it does all kinds of things. It builds bone, it causes muscles to contract, it allows nerves to conduct at optimal speed, and it helps in hair growth, it helps in digestion, it does everything. But its primary purpose is, bones.
Yes.
So, and blood in the bone, and blood keeps the bone right. You got to have bones. So we have two different types of cells. You have one type of cell that takes calcium out of the bone and puts it in the blood, and there's another type of cell that takes calcium out of the blood and puts it in the bone. And so they maintain optimal blood levels all the time. So if you say, okay, so 94% of these dogs have calcium levels, how come my vet didn't find it on the blood work? Because there's all these, because the body has protection so that the blood calcium stays where it needs to be in order to maintain life.
Interesting. There we go.
Hey,
That's a gem right there. We're gonna have to post that one, Zach.
So why do some pregnant females blow their coats? Is that a reason, like the puppies are pulling calcium from the mom, so therefore they're blowing their
It
coats?
can be one of them, that and hormones.
Gotcha.
So they have a hormone flush, but plus calcium. Calcium demand. Puppies demand a lot of calcium.
Yeah.
That's why about the only time we see hypocalcemia in dogs is in pregnant, right before they whelp or right after they whelp, as puppies start sucking a lot of milk out, we see a lot of hypocalcemia then. But, for the most part. So.
What you got, Stan? We got a
He
winner?
hunts for honey. So yeah, stay there. And then the other person won Satin Ball, which I'll make the announcement in a few. I know we got a few more questions, so let's ask a couple more questions. We'll call it an evening as we run this. Got to train. What's up? Winnie's here. Okay, cool. Winnie,
Yep.
I got you, girl.
Winnie is here. Jason L. Coffrin says, CBD for dogs, is it really killing the inflammation and helping flexibility?
Ooh.
It's a good question. A lot of people are I
didn't do well on CBD. My dogs did not do well on CBD. I had an opportunity to come out with CBD. I did not because my dogs just didn't do well on it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it depends on the quality of the CBD. And I think a lot of it depends on where the dog's inflammation is coming from. So look at this. How much, if you're eating a food that causes inflammation every time they eat, how much CBD oil do we need to give them so they don't get inflamed?
It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I would think it'd be impossible to keep up.
Right, because every time they eat, they're getting more inflammation, and the inflammation cascade is a downward spiral. So once you start that inflammation, everybody knows when you feel a little bit off, maybe you got a little fever, maybe a little cough, or getting a cold or something like that, and you go to work and you stub your toe, how bad does it hurt?
So much more.
Yeah.
Well, if you're inflamed, everything, if you don't feel good, how easy is it for your wife to hurt your feelings, Stan?
Very, very easy. All she has to do is just look at me the wrong way, and I start crying a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad. Wow.
Zach he doesn't have a heart, so he doesn't cry. He just
blooded, bro.
Yeah. So I'm Dr. Amy. If I'm feeling a little bit sick and Dr. Amy looks at me wrong, I'm done. I'm going back to bed. Good night.
Yeah, men aren't supposed to be that emotional, but we get emotional when we're inflamed or sick.
All right.
A lot of these questions we kind of already touched on, like how often should they use chiropractic? The most adjusted spot.
I recommend once a month, unless you're, I had a barrel racer that came in every 2 weeks, and I'd be like, hey, I don't find much. And she goes, oh, but you find a half second every time. I know that if minutes, a half second. Okay. And I've had flyball dogs. We had for about 4 years, I had the world's fastest flyball team as clients, and about 4 years in a row. And we adjusted them sometimes every week.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we did do was we always adjusted on Wednesday before the competition to give the body time to take effect, to use that adjustment to heal a little bit. If you get adjusted at the show, I'm not saying that that's bad, but you're not going to get the maximum benefit of that adjustment out of your dog.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Drag bag.
Somebody want a winner. We got a winner chicken dinner.
Yep. And they're actually going to be a guest on one of these podcasts. They actually have disc dogs, and their story is really amazing, remarkable. FG Border Collies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the guest that we're going to be bringing on here in the future.
Awesome.
All right, let's do the bonus. So this one's for everybody who actually asked Dr. O a question on the post. So this is a bonus spin.
Oh, awesome. I got a question, Dr. O. Do you believe in a raised bowl system? And what are the benefits or the downfalls of
Damn, that's a
raised
really
bowl?
good question.
All right. So, okay, I know we can do this here. We can do this. All right. So do that. All right. So when you do that with your mouth, think about right here and feel your gut. You feel it move here, and actually your ass puckered a little bit too.
Yeah.
All
Zach?
the sphincters in your body are connected.
Sphincters. What do you mean by sphincters?
Sphincters are what keep things in or out.
So that's always been a myth. Wow.
They're all connected. I know. When your GI system got developed, all right, and it started from that 8 cells, and your dogs started from the 8 cells, these cells here looked exactly the same all the way through the GI tract and at the other end.
Interesting. Shut your sphincter. Zach.
So they're all the same, right? So if you want one sphincter to open, all your sphincters are going to relax. It's easier for a dog to eat laying down.
No wonder I go number 2 so much. I just talk too much shit.
One, remember that primitive reflex system we talked about a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of eating, and we talked about one of them was eating, one of them's food guarding.
Yes.
If I'm like this, can I see whether Zach's trying to get my food? But if
Gotcha.
I'm down and eating, it's really easy for me to see if you're trying to get my food. Okay? The only time that I don't like food bowls low and on the ground is when we're trying to rehab the back end. And we feed not the food bowl up, but I want to put the front legs up. We want that dog to eat on an incline.
Nice. Which Zach and I we're actually working on a project which is kind of like an oval egg bowl, elevated oval egg bowl. So we're kind of working on that right now, especially for like some of these extreme dogs that are just larger breed dogs. So we're currently designing one, and I can't wait to launch that actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
So all right. Well, Dr. O, any last closing moments? We're going to bring you back on once a month, of course. We got to get Dr. Amy on, too. Maybe we can get both of y'all at the same time.
Let's do the third. Let's do the third week next month.
Okay.
We do the third Thursday next month.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yep.
And that works probably better if we're going to try to get Dr. Amy on.
Okay.
Oh, and we could maybe
see if we can get her in another room. That way we'll have like a 4 square going, and that way you guys.
Yeah.
We'll have you guys debate. That'd be good.
He's trying to get you put on the couch.
Yeah, you got to remember, Dr. Amy has forgotten more stuff than I ever knew.
Dang.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah, so we definitely got to
Yeah,
get
we
her
need
on.
her.
And a lot of your students too. If we can get some of your students to come on too, like if they're ever looking to market their future school or anything like that, or practice, we definitely want to bring them on as well.
All right. Hey, and any veterinarians out there that are chiropractors that are listening, or some of you guys that don't have an animal chiropractor near you, talk to your veterinarian or your chiropractor. We have a what we're calling Animal Chiropractic Light, okay? And it's next weekend, and it's just 6 hours. It's $97, and to help you figure out, to help your vet or chiropractor figure out the benefits of animal chiropractic, what it's going to do for their practice. Because,
Nice.
Most of our graduates have paid for the school within 6 to 8 months. So definitely you can get it done. And they're helping a lot of dogs and our horses. So
Yeah, I think it's going to be important too that we start infiltrating all the veterinarian clinics and stuff like that, because they are such a pivotal part of everybody's, especially like the pet owners, dogs. I see more comments of people getting so frustrated going into veterinarian clinics and leaving out of it, and like, I'm never going to go back to that place again. And they've been long-term because they're just not really getting what they're wanting from them. And the truth is that it's hard to find a good veterinarian. Not saying that all veterinarians are bad or anything like that. What I'm saying is it's just really hard to find someone you can trust that is just looking at your dog at an unbiased way.
No, that's so true.
Yes, safety pin. And I'm sure you've got a little experience with these lately, Stan.
Yeah. I actually use diapers, but I'm probably
All right.
That's a little old school for me, Doc.
Pulling out the Storkin cloth.
Protect the environment. All right. Anyway,
I do need
so this is
to protect the environment.
this is just an old safety pin. Here's the head, body. So nerve goes down, tells the body what to do. Nerve comes up, nerve goes down. Got a nice flow. All right. Body gets subluxated. Guess what? Communication broken. We can massage it. Okay. Guess what? Still disconnected. We can put some acupuncture needles in it. Throw some anti-inflammatories at it. What else can we do? Throw some supplements at it.
Yeah.
Do some exercises. Guess what?
Still no communication.
Until we adjust it, we're not going to get that nerve flow back, that communication back. So chiropractic, why do I adjust everything first? We adjust it first and then see how it does. Here's the thing. I've got a lady that came in yesterday with a hunting dog. She was an ER nurse, and they went to the vet. The vet said, you need to get an MRI. She looked at her husband and said, you know what? My friend's been talking about going to the chiropractor with her dog. I think we need to try that first. What's an MRI cost?
I don't even want to know.
An arm and a leg.
A lot of money. So they came to see me. I said, don't know if it's going to help or not, but give me 3 visits. 3 visits with me is $125 and $325. How much less than, not saying we'll be done after 3 visits, but we'll definitely be on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We adjusted the dog, and the dog, they go, well, it's already better.
Yeah.
But we had some muscle atrophy like we talked about. So they're coming back on Tuesday. They're going to measure for an X-Best on Tuesday. We're going to get them an X-Best ordered. Going to get them on the X-Best so that we can, do more weight on the right rear than the left rear, keep them adjusted, and then they're going to take the dog back to the trainer. And they've done all that rehab for probably less than half the cost of an MRI. If you get the MRI done, what do you know? Well, you might know where the problem is, but you haven't fixed anything.
Well, you're right. And so here's the thing, guys. Y'all go blow up their accounts. Make sure you go follow them. He's giving you the green light to hit him up. You know, obviously be respectable. Don't like just hound him, but you know, be specific. If there's things that he needs, make sure you get it to him in a direct manner. And man, you know, like hopefully, like, you know, we're bringing you guys a lot of value here tonight. So thank you so much. Share this, man. But make sure y'all go follow him and promote his page and promote Animal Chiropractic. And if you have any veterinarian questions too, he can help you with that. And he's constantly certifying more animal chiropractic, you know, every month. And so it's awesome, man. And thank you so much, Dr. O.
Dr. Amy's in the lab right now. She's down there helping some doctors learn how to adjust. So,
that's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So,
and don't forget, y'all, you can go to animalchiropracticeducation.com. Go all the way to the bottom of the page under the big word company, and there is a button that says alumni. Click on alumni. It's going to bring you to a screen that shows you everybody that's graduated from his class. You can type in your city or state to search, and it will pop up with all the people in your area.
Yes, sir. And if for those who don't know, if you guys are looking for any type of marketing stuff, make sure you hit up Zach as well. He does. I personally use him, so he's helping us as well. So if you guys need any like graphic design stuff, marketing material, anything to enhance your brand, make sure you hit him up as well. So, man, I love tonight like that. Tonight's like this really inspired me, man, and I'm excited to keep growing with y'all, man.
And
yes, sir.
Thank you guys so much.
I want to say one thing, Stan, before I signed on, before we got you on, you were talking about how people didn't follow the directions. And it's not just dog owners. It's not just everybody. We just did a challenge, a 10-day challenge. We had 25 people sign up to do a 10-day challenge, marketing challenge. And they had to post stuff on their Facebook, share it, tag it. Every day was a different challenge, right?
Yeah.
So 25 people signed up, and when we got done, the grand prize was worth about, I think it's close to $3,000.
Jeez.
All right. So the grand prize was worth about $3,000, and we had how many out of 25 qualified for that grand prize?
Probably maybe one or two.
Huh?
Maybe one or two.
You got it right. 3. We had 3 out of 20 qualified for the grand prize.
It started in school, man, when they told you to write your name at the top, keep it on the side. It all started then, man.
Details matter, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But we have things, you know, when you tag people, it increases all your traffic. It helps everybody when you tag people.
Yeah, that's the whole point, guys, is that we want to develop an amazing, strong network amongst all of us. And, you know, the only way we can do that is keep supporting. Yeah, like every time you guys mention X-Dog, you notice I'm re-mentioning you guys back and showing you guys love. It's for a reason, because when you start putting out and giving out with great intentions, it reciprocates. And so you're telling the universe and the world that, hey, listen, we're trying to bring you guys value, and that's what we're trying to be back. I didn't try to like do a rant that really like bitch you guys out, but you're my friends, and I care about y'all, man. And I want to make sure that you don't cut corners, and I expect you not to let us cut corners either over here at X-Dog. So thank y'all for tuning in. Dr. O, thank you. Zach, of course, thank you, man.